The presidential imbizo is currently underway in Welkom. President Cyril Ramaphosa has addressed residents on the issues that they are facing, saying that they are there today, by and large, to report back on issues that were raised on their last visit, or the last presidential imbizo. We take a look at how helpful these presidential imbizos have been with political analyst Sandile Swana. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. Is it possible to measure just how effective these presidential imbizos have been, given that this is the 11th installment?
It's very, very difficult to measure progress. The presidential statement announcing this imbizo, which is in the Welkom area right now, says that the previous imbizo in the Free State was in April 2022. And it lists the towns that were visited. It does not say what is it that was agreed that needs to be solved in those towns, in each town, and what has now been solved by now. So to measure progress, and I've listened to the comments from the public into this meeting that is in progress today, it is a wild, disastrous engagement, because to me those issues should have been discussed in the IDP planning stages and attended there, not to come and be collecting random ideas in a hall full of people and then saying officials from government, provincial and national departments must attend to those things. What have these people been doing all this time if they are going to enter that hall and listen to the needs of the community in the presence of the president? These imbizos are a gimmick.
Just today, you've got more than 10,000 people in attendance. We heard from the president. He disagrees with you, Mr. Swana, because he says the imbizos are working. He says the 6th administration is clear. They decided that they will go out to the people and engage with them to find out what their concerns are. And he says he's one to write down concerns, going as far as saying, I write down people's concerns on my iPad. And so he's spoken of issues of housing, crime, water and sanitation, as we see the water and sanitation minister on the podium. You hear this and you think what when you say it's a gimmick?
There are many things that the president has said he's going to write down, and he has written many. The idea, for instance, of rehabilitating ghost towns, especially ghost mining towns. Almost 8 years, 10 years ago, there were budgets for doing that, and so on and so forth. Welkom is one of those towns. Nothing has actually happened until now. I don't even know one ghost town, one former mining town in South Africa that has been rehabilitated. When you talk about this president, you are talking about someone who went to the World Economic Forum and told them that South Africa has solved the load-shedding crisis, Eskom load-shedding crisis. He went to the World Economic Forum and said. So when Cyril Ramaphosa tells you that he's writing things down, people don't need writing things down. People are talking there about houses that are falling apart. But these houses are falling apart. There are no jobs. Youngsters already have criminal records, etc., etc. So, in the absence of Stats SA, the Human Sciences Research Council and such entities giving us actual tangible evidence, hard evidence that since April last year until now in the Free State, there has been progress related directly to the presidential imbizos and this district development model, which in itself is a failure. So unless we get from those scientific bodies hard evidence that is measured on the ground, there's nothing else to say but to call these things a gimmick.
Sandile Swana, sir, we saw the resignation today of an ANC veteran in the name of Mavuso Msimang. And so you take a look at his 3-page letter and some of the concerns or the issues that he has cited in that letter. It tells you what about the governing party when the Secretary General of the party says that the Veterans League is trying to undermine the mother body?
The comments by the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, that the veterans of the ANC must stop decampaigning the African National Congress. First of all, that is a suppression of free speech in South Africa by the Secretary General of the African National Congress. But we are also aware that Ahmed Kathrada, a stalwart of the African National Congress, died bitter against the ANC for the defiance that was being shown against the veterans and the repeated violations of the Constitution by the partnership of Zuma and Ramaphosa, including the Nkandla scandal, the firing of Nene, and many other scandals that were continuing, and many constitutional court judgments. The likes of Andrew Mlangeni protested vehemently against the ANC of the day. Professor Ben Turok of the South African Communist Party protested vehemently. Many stalwarts have protested vehemently and unsuccessfully against the incumbents in office who are hell-bent in terms of the records prepared by Mavuso Msimang to continue with looting of tenders, to continue with continuing and increasing incompetence into the public sector and general corruption into the public sector and the ANC itself. So to be a veteran of the ANC is a symbolic activity that could actually damage your reputation than produce positive results for the ANC or even produce results for the nation of South Africa.
Sandile Swana is a political analyst. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. The South African